Yo, yo,
My guy, what's going on, bruh?
I'm good, man. This joint way too easy.
Yeah. You see, you just connect right in, man.
Yeah, this is fire. I like this.
Nah, for sure, bro, man. Welcome to the show, my guy.
Appreciate you, man. I thought we was gonna do a test. I didn't know we was about to get right into it.
Yeah. We right into it, bro. Right on the head,
Okay.
man. So, bro, as you've been, following the podcast, this is something I've been doing, just bringing on people that I've met, during my journey, man, that are doing some amazing things. I
Hmm.
think you've been one of them people, and continue to be one of them people. Like I told you the other day, man, I've been watching you, all the different moves that you got going on. And, you just always had something. I think was the name of your company and what's actually going to be the title of this episode is Genuine People. Like you always had a genuine vibe with you, bro, since we connected. And I know a lot of people, that are listening to this episode will say the same thing about you that know you. So I'm honored to have you on here today, man, and, kind of just tell people about your journey. I think you definitely have a great story, really influential. Coming from a place like Philadelphia, man, and just all these urban cities across this country, I think you've been an example, continue to be an example of somebody that don't let their environment shape them and really just go and chase their dreams, bro. So, man, welcome. Man. We get to jump right into it, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction, man. That was way too fire. I appreciate it.
For sure, man. Yeah. So, man, genuine people, man. I would before I ask, you to share to people what that is as far as your company and your business. Outside of that, just that term, that word, we think about genuine people, man. What comes to mind, when you think about that?
Man, vulnerability, um, respect, honor, moral compass, hard work, work ethic, care, just everything that's pure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's absent of ego. Um, yeah,
Yeah, nah,
that's
for
what
sure,
comes to
bro.
mind.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, I know you know where you're at now as far as with genuine people. Myself knowing that, just knowing you. Before that, that I remember there was one other business you had going on.
Hmm.
So let's just start, man. I think, before we jump to all the great stuff, let's just start at how you started off, man. Let's take it back to not even when we met, before we met. Let's take it back to West Philly, bro. When growing up, you know what I mean? Like, because I know a lot of what you do.
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of things have been inspired from your upbringing there, whether it was, motivation to get out or whether it was some
Right.
things that you picked up as far as experience while, living
Right. So I'm from uptown in Philadelphia.
there. Okay.
Um, I mean, technically, I started throwing events in high school, and I didn't even really know what I was doing. I was really just, doing my thing with my friends, just having a good time.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over the years is, some of us may think that we're not talented or we don't have gifts, but in reality, we're overlooking. We may overlook our gifts and talents because our gifts and our talents are the things that we do with ease. They're things that we don't even recognize because they come so natural to us.
Right.
And I had to appreciate my gift, my talent, my skill set. I had to grow and learn to appreciate that. So, like I said, I did events in high school. Philly, we had a phase where it was like the big party groups and things like that. So I had my own party group, 12th grade at high school, called Fashion Lunatics.
Okay.
Um, by the time I got to Dell State, that was basically a reset, basically finding my people, finding my way, finding myself, really just trying to see what I was interested in. So I think Dell State, I was there for 3 years. 2 years I was in class, 1 year I wasn't due to financial aid.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that 1 year off, man, rest in peace to my boy Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, I took that year to just discover myself some more because I knew that I was going to go back to school one day, whether it was Dell State or somewhere else. So with that year off, I helped them direct the music video. Um, I was doing some graphic work on Art Illustrator and Photoshop, merchandise and mixtape covers, things of that nature. Fast forward, ended up moving back to Philly to finally enroll in school, where I enrolled at Temple. In between that time, where I was out of school in Delaware, Dover, Delaware, at Delaware State, I was out of school in between the time where I re-enrolled in Philly at Temple. I also had an internship with a company called Sneaker Villa in the
Mm-hmm.
marketing department. So that also kind of like just gave me some direction and was just sharpening my iron even when I didn't realize it. So I got to Philly, got to Temple. Me and my boy Brandon started a brand called CMTA, Crave Mind Stick Alike.
Yep.
And I mean, that's when it really went crazy. And that's when we can really talk about how Philly really molded me as a person and my project management skill set,
Yeah.
and how Philadelphia how it was. It's just being from there, just moving around a lot. You know, I went to three different high schools, two middle schools, two elementary schools. So just moving around a lot, meeting a bunch of people, again throwing parties in high school, and me just being, I'm very, what's the word? I'm very intrigued by people's journey. So me just being a people person, being boots
Yeah.
on ground in Philly, I just always had a way of just connecting people. And then when I started CMTA with my boy Brandon, that was just an opportunity to provide platforms and just still, figure out who we are as men and as professionals.
Right.
So from CMTA, I did that for about 2 or 3 years, and I took I pivoted. Um, we dissolved that brand, and I just still kept it going. Not because it was like something that I was passionate about at that time, at that point, because this is probably like 3 4 years in. By the time
Okay.
CMTA came to an end, not because I was passionate, but it was just like, again, it was an unrealized gift,
Right.
right? And people would always be like, "Yo, Lou, I'm trying to do this. Boom, boom, boom. I need some help. All right, cool. Let's make it happen. Yo, Lou, I'm releasing a mixtape. What are your thoughts? Like, I want to bring you on." And it was just, again, just a knack. And people saw something in me. I saw something in them. And I
Mm-hmm.
think over the years, even once I transcended here to LA, it's kind of just like, I just took my education from the field. I took my knowledge and I just applied it in terms of let's trying to reach new heights, reach new levels.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, bro. And I remember that era with the CMTA because I remember I know you was coming to DC as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
when
Yes,
you was
sir.
moving around,
Yes,
shaking.
sir, man.
You was doing you was doing a lot. Now, I think it made me, just hearing some of your upbringing,
Uh huh.
going to three different high schools, two middle schools, it kind of like makes sense because that's one thing I observed about you. Like, you are
Mm.
a people person. I
Mm.
see you go in rooms and you can control the room, without doing too much, with just being
Mm.
you. And you were saying, as
Mm.
far as like with these events and everything you're doing, you were saying, this is something that just, like you said, it came across as something like it's a natural talent, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what would you say, through, assisting with the mixtapes, through assisting
Okay.
with the different events, like what would you say was the moment where you look like, all right, okay, I can level this up, or okay, I can take this to the next level?
Um. When was the moment? Right. I don't think it was one moment. It was a compilation of experiences and
Yeah,
events and again education. So in my time, from high school to Dell State, working with Rico, to coming back to Philly and launching CMTA with Brandon and the marketing internship with Sneaker Villa. I think it was just a compilation of moments, experiences, and information, right?
yeah,
Even reading had become and is a big part of my life now, like a lot of self-help, self-development, because I had to learn how to dream big. And my friend Trey Banks, I work with him closely now. I knew him since like the fifth grade.
okay,
um that was always something that he was good at, and that was always something that I lacked. I feel like at my core, I'm just like a foot soldier. You know what
hmm,
I mean? Like I just like to get in and get it done. And I
right,
had to learn how to really visualize more for myself. You know what I mean? Even as a kid, my mom always said, be the best in your class, be the best here, be the best there. And for me, at my core, I wasn't really interested in that. I was interested with just being cool, like being okay, just getting by. So I think I had to learn and reprogram myself to really dream big and shoot for the stars. So if I fell short, I still fall on the moon. Um,
Right.
so I think the moment to really trying to answer your question, I think it was when I had my epiphany, and it was kind of like, yo, you're too comfortable here. There's a ceiling here between Philly and New York. You gotta get out.
Yeah.
That's when I decided, like, hey, I'm either go to Atlanta or LA. I decided to go to LA because it was more of a comfortable shift. Like
Yeah.
both shifts would have been a challenge, but here in LA, I had my brother and my cousin where I
Okay.
can fall back on, and until I get on my feet and figure some things out. So when I decided to come to LA, that's when I made the conscious decision, like I can't do the same thing that I was doing before. Like I can't. How do you say? Like I just gotta level up. Like I just gotta grow. I gotta elevate. I gotta expand on the vision and the work. And LA, I think Atlanta would have been a great choice also,
Hmm.
but LA has been a good choice because just the quality of network and resource that
Yeah.
there is here. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where, just doing my research, and even like I said, just always watching. Like I seen you've been able to tap in with some great brands.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's since you moved there before that, but I know like just from I seen it on your portfolio from K Swiss,
Hmm.
Jack Daniels, New Era.
Hmm.
Talk about some working with some of these big brands, and how that experience has been for you.
Man, a lot of that really came from my time in Philly. So not only did I work, excuse me, intern with Sneaker Villa, in their marketing department, but I also worked in three of their retail stores, over 3 years. And
Yeah.
it was when I landed on the South Street location in Philly. South Street is basically like, a big urban cultural zone, as far as like street brand, sneakerhead community,
Right.
stuff like that. So, that's where I met my man Chris at K Swiss. I did some consultation. Excuse me. I did some consultation work with him. Now he's at New Era. So did some consultation work for him out here in LA.
Okay.
Uh, Jack Daniels, again, just moving around and being boots on ground. Met that gentleman, and he sponsored a few of my events. He's in Atlanta now. Same thing with Miller High Life. Met that plug. Just being outside, boots on ground. She sponsored a release party I was in charge of, and then she had moved on to Tesla before before it is what it is now. When she said she was going to Tesla, I had no idea what that meant in hindsight. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I just like, all right, cool. Best wishes. I'm gonna keep it pushing over here in Philly, doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And then far as like, what's it like working with those larger brands? It's to me it's regular, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
why genuine people is what it is, because it's
Right.
like, maybe that's to my fault. Sometimes my energy is just so pure and raw. I really I don't care too much for titles
Right.
or how much money you make. It's like, oh, all right, this is what you're doing right now, this is your role right now. Well, how can I add value? Oh,
Yeah.
you're interested in what I'm doing? All right, well, how can we make it make sense for each other and our audience for that day?
Hmm.
Whether it's a product giveaway, whether it's a monetary sponsorship, and we're promoting their brand by way of email marketing, digital marketing, physical marketing. So um, yeah, I don't get starstruck by big names. It's just kind of like, again, who are you as a person? Do I like being around you? Do I like working with you? Can I be open and vulnerable with you without thinking, that there's an agenda there? Or are you judging me because maybe I'm not well polished in terms of how some people move in certain industries? You know what I mean? So for me, again, it's just people first. So if it's easy to work with you, we can build forever. There's some people I only met one time, you know what I
Right.
mean? Or we had one conversation, and they're still good on my book today. Not
Yeah.
because maybe we didn't even work with each other down the line, but I just value those moments and I cherish those moments. And people are always good with me until they give me a reason otherwise.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's real, bro. And I think that's that's how you was describing, like you said, it relates to the name of the business.
Hmm.
As far as genuine people and the things that you been able to do and offer. So I
Hmm.
also wanted to, go into the next question, just, kind of to talk more about the business, the services that you all offer, and some things like that, so people get more of an understanding of what genuine people actually is.
I'm sorry. Can you say it one more time? Sound a little muffled.
Yeah, I was just saying, as far as genuine people, if you could
Hmm.
talk more about, what it is, the services that you all offer,
Okay.
some things like that, so people just get more of a deeper understanding of what the company is.
Absolutely. So, Genuine People is a project management and consultation company, agency. I like to think of it as a boutique agency because I am a one man team. So, everything that I do is like just catered and really, uniquely molded to my client's mission and goal. And also with Genuine People, I decided to launch a subscription program. So, it's not a course or anything of that nature, but I like to think of it as what Spark Notes back in the day did, with just giving you really like an overview of
Right,
your favorite book or some financial literacy things or a course you may be thinking about taking. So it's those three things: it's project management, it's consulting, and then there's the overview subscription model, where I like to focus on self help, financial literacy, as well as the stock market.
nice, nice. Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you see? I would say, I know it's as far as like I know you got the site off,
Mm-hmm.
pandemic is over, things are opening back up. What do you see as far as like some of your top focuses for the company? Starting the top of the year, since we're about to be in 2022. As soon as we look up,
Man, my top focus is really just continue to create successful experiences and moments with my clients and partners,
okay,
continue to add value, to continue to help individuals reach their goals. So the project management piece is like, yo, Lou, we want to bring you on, to oversee this project, whether it takes a month, 3 months, etc. Where the consultation piece is like, I want to just pick your brain for 30 minutes to an hour, and can let me see if I can figure this out on my own, or do I want to bring you on for project management. So I just want to continue to add value, and in
right,
turn that'll just continue growing the company, because I mean, bro, again, I've been doing the work officially since 2013. That's when
yeah,
CMCA started. Everything that I was doing in high school and back in Delaware, I was still figuring it out, and I was still kind of like in my shell. But I've been doing the work from 2013 to 2020 without the site, without an official company backing. So the work was always there.
right,
2020 gave me a chance to really just reflect and look at myself and my past, and concentrate on my present and my future. And that's when I kind of decided to just like, you know what? Let me create a digital space. Let me create a digital home for all of my work. So it's just, again, if Instagram shut down like it did yesterday, Instagram and Facebook, whatever the case may be, I have my own home, or I have my own portfolio. Because I know
right,
I share my portfolio with you, but if people just want to do a little bit extra research on me, there's a digital landing page, there's a digital home for that. So that's my goal for the project management consultation side. And then in terms of my subscription program, which is called Genuine Notes, I really want to build that community up, because for me, self help and financial literacy are the two big things that really um, changed my life over a period of time. It started with self help. I'll say in 2011. This is my
yeah,
Dell State days. I was very involved with Dell State. I went on a few, what do you call those things? Conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, man, it changed my life. I
Yeah.
felt like that's the first time I really read a book, 2011 summer, and I say that because I wasn't reading for a classroom assignment. I was reading for myself, and that book was called "How to Gain Friends and Influence People" by Dale Carnegie. And man, that really just like that was like an aha moment for me, and I wanted more of that. So with Genuine Notes, the subscription program, that's what I want to offer to people. I want to give people that aha moment where it's like, let me check this out, this self help stuff. Let me check
Right.
the notes out on, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is one of the more popular ones.
Right.
Let
Right.
me check these notes out. Okay, so that's what it's about. Now let me go ahead and order the whole book so I can go
Exactly.
through it myself. Then you got the financial literacy piece. One of my favorite books was The Millionaire Next Door.
Mm-hmm.
Really, just a lot about living within and below your means, and it drives a lot of or illustrates a lot of comparisons between, let's just say, financial status and the reality of that status.
Okay.
So again, just giving people good overview so it can really shift their way of thinking, because that's a lot of times that's what people want, digestible information. I think that's why Instagram is so popular. You scroll, you see the picture, you see
Right.
something cool, and then far as the information of that picture and what it's offering, I have a lot of people I work with. A lot of us coming to this issue where it's like we post a flyer for an event or a program, whatever the case may be, and then we still might have people text us or email us and say, oh, what's the date? What time does it start? And it's like, dang, all the information is really right there, on the flyer, but we always
Right.
got to figure out a way to make it, less than 2 seconds. They got it all. Or if we got to reiterate it, how do we reiterate the information without spamming the information? How do we make it beautiful? Again, how do we make it digestible? How do we make it attractive?
Right. Right.
So those are my goals for Genuine People on the project management consultation side, and Genuine Notes on a subscription model side.
Right. Right. Nah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All great stuff, bro. No, like something that stick out to me, I agree too. Like I really didn't start reading to like
uh,
maybe like I think in my last year of high school I started to get into it and fell off. You get to college, like you just reading whatever to pass the test, whatever you need to do. But like
yeah,
personal development books, I
yeah.
really didn't like get on that to probably like man 2-3 years ago, like really
For
dive in.
real?
Yeah, like really. And let me say this
Uh huh.
fully reading a book. Like, cause I had a habit where I would pick up a book, read a
Okay.
couple chapters, never finish it.
Oh.
So then it was like I was like, all right, let me just focus on because I read a book, I'm like, all right, let me go to the next one. But like really reading one book at one time and like really digesting each chapter,
Uh huh.
maybe reflecting on it and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
But it's like so helpful. And one thing you said too is change your way of thinking. And
Mm.
like I think you laid the jewels out, but we all see it, man. You from a place right now, Philly is Philly's experiencing a lot. It's from gun violence,
Mm-hmm.
just a whole lot going on up there. So
Mm-hmm.
I always ask people just from a community aspect, especially what you just said, if you could right now, talk to some of them youth growing up in the same neighborhoods that you roamed as a kid,
Mm.
what advice would you give them to really change their thinking? Because I think one thing too that you said is that
Uh huh.
the internet and the gram and the scrolling, and it's like it's so much as far as the distractions now. Like
Uh
we
huh.
have distractions, but now it's like you got a virtual distraction where like you could do something dumb and crash out just from being influenced from Instagram from your bed. So
Yeah.
what tools would you give them, them youngest listening, like, as far as like to really change their way of thinking, in those environments?
Hmm. I'm thinking hard. I'm thinking hard.
And I guess I should say, from your experience, would you say, because I know you said reading and things like they'll say, but would you say you got more, was your thought impacted more through exposure, like to different things, or more through experience, or would you say both?
Both, bro.
Yeah,
Being raised by a single mother, um, is an experience in itself, and then I'm not gonna get into it super too much, but we moved around
Yeah,
a lot because she wanted to provide me more opportunities and better opportunities than she had access to.
yeah,
So I think again with just me being me, as far as my personality goes, as far as being a easily intrigued person, a people person. You couple that with always moving around and having to uh, reinvent yourself, rediscover yourself. Um, I think that gave me the tools, the wherewithal, and the understanding of how to interact
right,
with different people and things. And it also gave me the tools to think critically for myself, right? So I never was afforded the opportunity to, run with the pack or follow the herd. Again, just because I was moving around so much, or I might spend the summer in Newark, New Jersey with my dad and my brothers and sisters. You know what I
hmm,
mean? Um, and this goes back to your question because exposure is so important, right? Like
yeah,
you got people who never left Brooklyn. You got people who never left South DC. And it's like, how do you get those individuals to search for something more than what's directly in front of them? So if I just had to give some advice, not to dwell on the question for too long,
yeah.
I would
I
really
feel you though.
just say,
Yeah, no, I was like, no, I was gonna. I feel you though, because it's so much, like, because
is it?
it's like you can't really just give one nugget and be like, all right, run with it. Because, like I
It's
said,
complex.
they up against so much, bro. Like,
I would say this though. I would say figure out and try your hardest to discover who you are. Discover out what you like.
mm-hmm,
Discover and figure out what you want, right?
right,
Because I mean, shoot, growing up in the late '90s and early 2000s, it was a big gangster rap scene, man. I wear a size 30, bro. I'm back in the day. I'm
yeah,
wearing 30, 34, 36 jeans, 5XTs, 4XTs, going
right,
crazy. So it's like, and then when Kanye came around, like in '04, '05, that's when we started doing the fitted clothes. And then
yeah,
you got Jim Jones and Lil Wayne. Now we doing the bike chains and the Ed Hardy. So I think it's important for us to always like really tap in with our true identity, our true selves. So we
yeah,
reflect on our past, our present, and we need to be able to dream big and figure out how do I want to create and illustrate my future. Because once you can, discover those three things for yourself, now you gotta get to a space where it's like, what sacrifices do I make? As far as spending more time alone, or I may have to get a job that I don't want, but it's gonna help, um, you know,
yeah,
uh, afford those investments that I'm gonna need to get to that vision of myself that I want. So I really just say tap in with yourself. Try to spend some